Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Kognito Key. I'm so absolutely thrilled you're here today. You know, every single time you type on a keyboard or move your mouse, there is this incredibly complex, totally invisible dance happening right inside your computer. So today, we're cracking open the machine. We're going to demystify exactly how the blazing fast brain of your computer actually manages to talk to the outside world using I/O interface circuits. Let's dive right in. Now, have you ever stopped to wonder how a lightning-fast CPU talks to a relatively slow keyboard? Because honestly, it's a massive speed gap. Your processor is sitting there thinking in billions of operations per second, but human fingers typing, we're incredibly sluggish by comparison. If the processor just shouted data at the keyboard, it'd be like trying to take a sip from a fire hose. Just complete chaos. We absolutely need a specialized solution to bridge this gap. And that is exactly where the I/O interface circuit comes in. Think of this hardware as the ultimate translator and traffic cop all rolled into one. It sits right there between your system bus and your peripheral devices. Its whole job is making sure that the fast-talking CPU and your slower I/O devices can actually understand each other perfectly without dropping any vital information along the way. To make this translation flawless, this mediator relies on 6 key features. First up, we've got the data register, which basically acts as a temporary waiting room for data. Then the status register, which raises a little digital flag to tell the processor if a device is actually ready to go. Third is the control register, dictating whether we're reading or writing. Fourth, address decoding. This is crucial. It ensures the processor targets the right device, kind of like a mail carrier finding the right house. Fifth, timing signals, to keep everything perfectly synchronized. And finally, format conversion, which translates data into a universal language both sides get. Put them all together, and they make seamless communication possible. Section 1. Parallel ports, also known as the multi-lane highway. So let's look at how this multi-lane highway actually works in action with an input device, like your keyboard. When you tap a key, an electrical signal generates. Instantly, an encoder converts that physical tap into a standard digital language called ASCII code. Right after that, a valid bit, which is basically a tiny digital switch, flips its status from 0 to 1. This tells the system, hey, a key was actually pressed. That code is then loaded into a temporary spot called the keyboard data register, and the processor reads it. It's a beautifully coordinated process. Now, for an output device like your computer monitor, the system relies on this really polite electronic handshake. First, the display device activates a ready line to say, I'm prepared to display. This triggers a data out, or DOT flag, which alerts the processor to go ahead and place the character. The processor then activates a new data line to confirm the data is loaded, and the display elegantly accepts it. It's a highly efficient two-way confirmation. Moving on to Section 2. Serial ports, the single-file line. To handle this single-file line of data, the interface uses some really clever format converters called shift registers. Here's how it goes. The input shift register grabs just 1 bit at a time from the device. It patiently waits until it gathers a complete 8-bit package in a bit serial fashion. Once it has all 8, it bundles them together and loads the content into the data in register parallelly, just to accommodate that fast processor. Finally, a serial in, or SYN flag, waves a little digital hand telling the processor the data is officially ready to read. Now, because serial ports don't always have a dedicated clock line to keep time, they kind of have to get creative. First, we have a synchronous serial transmission. We use this when the clocks aren't synchronized. To ensure the data doesn't just turn into a jumbled mess during slower transmission, they use protective bookends. They group the data bits using a logic 0 start bit at the very beginning and a logic 1 stop bit at the end. It's super reliable. Contrast that with synchronous serial transmission, which is all about high-speed efficiency. In this setup, the receiver actually generates a clock that is perfectly synchronized with the transmitter's clock. And because they are beating to the exact same rhythm, they can entirely skip those clunky start and stop bits. This streamlined approach means massive blocks of data can move continuously at incredibly high speeds. So looking at both options, when do hardware engineers choose one over the other? Well, it really comes down to distance and cost. Parallel ports send multiple bits at once, making them significantly faster, but they require thicker, costly cables, so they're strictly ideal for closer distances, like the connections right inside your computer case. Serial ports, on the other hand, send data 1 bit at a time. They're slower per cycle, sure, but they are far less costly to wire up, making them the absolute go-to for long-distance connections. So I'll leave you with this thought today. As our peripheral devices keep getting faster and faster every single year, what's next for I/O interfaces? How will the hardware traffic cops of tomorrow handle those massive speeds? Thank you so much for joining me on Kognito Key today. If you found this explainer helpful, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and like and share this explainer with your friends. Keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next one.